Same thing. Ask yourself this. If violent crime in D.C. is at a 30-year low, why are Democrats, activists, and media pundits losing their mind over Trump taking control over the police? You're about to see something they never wanted you to connect, because once you do, the whole justice narrative crumbles.
You don't think more police make streets safer?
No, Joe. I'm a black woman in America. I do not always think that more police make streets safer. When you walk down the streets of Georgetown, you don't see a police officer on every corner, but you don't feel unsafe. So what is it about talking about places like Southeast D.C., right? Ward 8, if you will, that people say, well, we need more officers to make us safe. I think we have to rethink what safety means in America.
You don't think?
Oh, man, typical liberal behavior. But right here, no statistics, no proof, just I'm a black woman in America as the entire argument. And this is the game. Make the debate emotional, not factual at all. Because, if we stick to the facts, they can't defend their position. Ask yourself this too. Why do they skip right past the murder rates? Why do they skip past the victims, all the names, all the grieving families, and instead you choose to weaponize your identity? Doesn't make sense to me. Because identity shields them from accountability, maybe? But it gets worse, because while some argue police don't make streets safer, others are now painting Trump as a racist simply for even trying.
One of the things that we have seen over and over from the president, from his team, Stephen Miller saying it's like Baghdad in Ethiopia. They seem to hold their harshest criticism sometimes for cities that are majority black and brown. Do you see that, and what do you think that means?
I think that I have been dealing kind of with this issue for a number of years. It's kind of easy fodder on the campaign trail. But now we're talking about governing, and my job is to focus on making sure our city is running well, and people enjoy a great quality of life. And I think we're doing a really good job. We do need the federal government's help, as I mentioned, because they have an outsized influence on our criminal justice system. We need more prosecutors. We need more judges. There are other ways to help. Even we want to rebuild our jail, and there are ways that the feds can help with that. But also just doing their part, cutting the grass, fixing the fountains, making sure that federal law enforcement is doing all of the policing that they can do. And I just have to say thank you to MPS, FBI, ATF, who've always worked cooperatively with us, and we expect that they will again.
Mayor Bowser says crime's not spiking at all. Yet in the same breath, admits D.C. needs more prosecutors, more judges, and even wants help rebuilding the jail. So which is it? Safe streets or broken systems? Like, which is it? And why is federalizing the police suddenly an unprecedented overreach? Like, when the same Democrats, they cheer federal crackdowns in Republican cities. It's selective outrage. It's because it's Trump. We all know this, like point blank period. And if you think this is just politics, wait until you hear what people on the ground are actually living through.
But there's an obvious difference between D.C. and any other city in America. A few months ago, I was in Union Station and saw a body hit the floor at the bottom of the escalator in Union Station because there was a murder right in front of me. Up on the second floor, I was going to get a tie, and I heard the shots and saw the body hit the floor. So I've been listening all day long to people trying to make some argument that Washington, D.C. is a safe place. It's not a safe place, and we can argue about statistics and numbers. There's a police commander right now on suspension because there's some allegation that the statistics have been altered. But we can argue about that all day long. Nobody in their right mind who lives there or visits there on a regular basis would tell you that Washington, D.C. is safe, and everybody who goes there knows it. But there's an obvious difference between D.C. and any other city.
A murder in broad daylight in the middle of Union Station. And the Democrats want you to believe D.C. is some kind of model for public safety. That's how they, what all they wanting and crying right now. This isn't a chart. No, this isn't statistical manipulation. This is reality. And it's the reality that, they don't want aired on CNN unless it's in passing, buried between their narratives. And speaking of burying reality, let's talk about how the loudest voices use tragedy, race, and rage to rewrite the truth.
He hates black people. He hates black people. He said terrible, dangerous cities like Oakland, Baltimore, D.C., because they're majority black population cities. He hated black people when he took out 4 full-page ads in New York newspapers calling for the Central Park 5 to be executed. Innocent black children. He hated black people when he picked Haitian immigrants to bully because he knew dumbass white-skinned Latinos like me would fucking fall for that shit. He hates black people. He fucking hates black people. I don't know how much clearer he can get. He hates black people.
Man, you hear that? Now this isn't a discussion. It's just screaming. It's basically a screaming match against reality. Brought up Central Park 5, Haitian immigrants, all brought up out of context to frame every move Trump makes as racially motivated. Which, by the way, when it comes to the Central Park 5, why in the hell is nobody mad at the judge? The actual prosecutors, the lawyers. Why? People that was actually involved in the making that happen. Saying, man, the media, they eat it up because outrage is their oxygen. And here's the truth that they will never admit. Policies can't be racist just because they affect majority black cities. If the standard is no enforcement where black people live, you just created a no-go zone for law. And the criminals know it. It makes no sense. And while some are still screaming racism into their phones, others are quietly dropping numbers that blow even their own argument to pieces.
First of all, fuck Donald Trump. Second of all, to the black people that are rationalizing Donald Trump taking over and militarizing DC streets under the pretext of crime when crime in DC is at a 30-year low, you are part of the fucking problem too. And if it don't apply, let it fly. Okay, I don't need an announcement about how you haven't seen nobody say something. I'm telling you what I've seen with my own 2 eyes. Mm-hmm. Here is the thing. For anybody to believe that Donald Trump coming in with the military is a solution, and for anybody to think, even after all that we've seen from this administration, that it's going to only impact the so-called bad ones is irrational. The bottom line is the reason why Donald Trump is taking over DC is because DC is still a predominantly black city. And he looks at blackness and criminality as being one and the same. And so if you think that the Donald Trump that has told the National Guard, do whatever it is that you want to do to people, the same motherfucker that sat up there and wanted to shoot Black Lives Matter protesters last time he was in office, the same person that one of his first orders of business was pardoning a DC cop who killed somebody and whose Department of Justice has gotten rid of consent decrees that we fought for in the so-called racial reckoning. If you think that that administration and that person's aim, oh, and by the way, the person who ran on giving cops indemnity, if you think that that's the solution of bringing in over 1,000 people to police and racially profile and harass people, and you think you're going to be exempt, then you're fucking unhinged. And guess what? If anything should happen to your dumb ass, don't fucking come to us with no GoFundMe, no hashtag shit, no relief, nothing, because you're one of those people that think that this shit is okay, and it's not okay. All right? The bottom line is, this is bullshit, and this is all about criminalizing black people. But you know what? Republicans are smart. They know that if you put black people at the forefront of, oh, we got to get the blacks under control, then people will go for anything.
I ain't got a problem with none of the attacks, but, usually none of the lies. But that right there is a Democrat tactic that we got to be very, very wary of. Very, very wary of. When they start when they can't make their own arguments and they start repeating and reframing the argument that's on their side, I mean, that's been geared towards their side for so long, and they try to make it a right-wing thing, oh, yeah, you lost. You lost me.
This is all about criminalizing black people. But you know what? Republicans are smart. They know that if you put black people at the forefront of, oh, we got to get the blacks under control.
Oh, you talking about like Kamala Harris rallies? Oh.
Then people will go for anything. But it's not going to be so cute when they're impacted by the shit as well. The same way that all people thought it was going to be cute with all this immigration shit, and they're not immigrants, but they're getting fucked with. It's going to be the same goddamn thing with D.C. And then they're going to move on to New York City, Chicago, and other black cities next. So, I know you might be afraid, and I'm not trying to minimize crime by anybody. Be very, very clear about that. But I tell you what, I'll take my chances with the 30-year crime low in D.C. than with bringing a whole bunch of motherfuckers in there who got marching orders to fuck with us.
I mean, she admits it. Crime is at a 30-year low, but still frames Trump's move as an attack on black communities. I mean, which is it? I really want to know, which is it? If the streets are so safe, why fear extra policing? And if the streets are still dangerous, why oppose it? Because for them, safety, I don't think safety is the goal. I think controlling the narrative is, personally. You'll notice nobody here wants to talk about, the people actually committing the crimes. That silence? Yeah, that silence, though, that's where the truth lives. And if you want proof that this isn't about facts at all, just listen to how the rally crowd reframes law enforcement itself as the enemy.
Great. The president has been trying to provoke violence here, right here, in the black communities and in the brown communities, having ICE kidnap our neighbors, having the black community be harassed and profiled.
So before she continues, who in the comment, who's watching this video remember us thoroughly reviewing videos of ICE detaining people who were not black or brown?
Want a response. We say, hell no, we won't go.
This is the result of a Jasmine Crockett.
Hell no, we won't go. We won't go. Hell no, we won't go. When we say we won't go, that means we're not going into those mass incarceration, into their prisons and enslavement. We won't go into their ICE, what do you call his beautiful centers that he got. We won't go to where alligators live. Hell no, we won't go. 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 Today we gather to speak plainly about policy path that sounds strong, but in truth, it weakens the very safety we seek. We believe there is a better way to protect us all. One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism-free. Fear is not a roadmap to safety. It is a burial. It fails hardest on the black communities that already we bear a disproportionate share of surveillance, stops, and forces. I want to be clear. We've been here before. This is a long history. Well before today, the black communities bear the brunt of aggressive policing. Data and reports from many credible organizations show patterns. Black people are more likely to be stopped, searched, questioned, arrested, and harmed in encounters with the law. When we add the presence of federal agents or the National Guard to daily life in these neighborhoods, the burden can multiply. Not by making harm more rare, but making it more visible and more likely to escalate. So be clear, this has been going on. But as you bring more policemen, it's going to escalate. Black Washingtonians have long recognized that community violence cannot be solved through state violence and have asked for meaningful investments and solutions that are proven to work. Racist over-policing goes beyond D.C. as the roots of American policing in many regions, like enslaved patrol. Police have been enslaving and murdering black people with freedom for punishment for centuries. I stand in front of you today with a signal.
Also with what seems like an American flag, too.
To the residents of D.C. and the country, that we will not be idle as oppressive structures try to harm our communities and take power. The fight for black liberation and the liberation of all people will not stop no matter our oppression, intimidation, manipulation tactics.
I don't think this is liberation for all people. This is very, very specific to black people as you keep making it.
We have the right to demand respect, to protect ourselves and protect each other. And as the executive director of Hers Wildest Dreams, I want to name white people's civil rights have never been in danger because they are white. The white civil rights represents the desire from the Jim Crow. Full stop. At Hers Wildest Dreams, and as we support Free DC, we're fighting against mass incarceration, policing, ICE, violence towards immigrants and Muslims, violence in Palestine, worker exploitation, and more. We're fighting for freedom and safety for all people.
I almost fell asleep. You know, this is what happens when decades of political propaganda rot the roots of a community. Law enforcement is cast as state violence. ICE isn't kidnapping neighbors. No, they would say ICE is kidnapping. I said isn't. They go, ICE is kidnapping our neighbors. And any attempt to stop crime is always labeled as oppression with them. But you got to ask yourself this same thing. Who benefits when the streets stay unsafe? Certainly not the single mother trying to raise kids in that chaos. Not the small business owner. Not even a churchgoer walking home at night. Unsafe streets definitely breed dependency, and dependency is the most reliable voter turnout machine that the Democrats, has ever built. They tell you all the time, this is about safety, but then you see that the numbers tell you otherwise, and they tell you it's all about justice, and the victims say otherwise. And they'll keep saying it until enough of us connect the dots. That's why this channel right here exists. That's why Team Think. That's why you exist. If you're tired of the lies and the double standards and the way, they play politics with your life, make sure you follow me on X. Yep. And Rumble. And you can catch my uploads over there daily. I already know, Team Think, we got to do the 4X Club shout outs. All you got to do is put 4X in the comment section and let me know you watching all 4 of the videos that I dropped today. That helps increase engagement and all that. But we're going to go shout out to James Barker, 5262. Tina Demarisco, could be messing that all the way up. I know I am. I'm butchering these names. Clickerbug 9956. Then we got Mike Draw 703. Then we got Paul's Eimer 2911. Thank y'all so much for making the channel what it is. Y'all please be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.